Hello, I am Connor, the Mountain Artist, and this is episode 2 of the new gaming series here on the new channel, Life in 8-Bit Devotion, dedicated to anything and everything gaming and gaming only. Today I've got a 2-for-1 special setup for you guys, so sit back, relax, and enjoy a glimpse into life in 8-bit devotion. Alright, you guys, so as I said in the beginning, excuse me, welcome back to another episode of Life in 8-Bit Devotion, where today I've got a 2-for-1 special for you guys. 2 games in one video, and the whole reason is because the story of both games are completely interlinked in, of course, more ways than one. And the 2 games I've got for you guys today are Prototype. You can see the front of the boxes there. The boxes there. And of course, like I said before, the story of these 2 are in the link, but we'll do one game at a time. Obviously we'll start from the start. Right, you guys, so this is the first Prototype game published and released by Activision and Treyarch in 2009. And this is a story about a guy named Alex Mercer, who used to be a scientist working for a company called Gentek, but after a spill of this new bioengineered virus, he ends up getting hit with the virus, turned into this being, this highly evolved being who can jump as high as buildings, or even jump right over buildings, can lift pretty much anything, and grow weapons from his limbs. And the goal of the game, the story of this game, is that Alex wants to basically get his own back on those at Gentek who let the virus spill. And spends the whole game getting caught up in this web of lies and stuff like that, and but there's more than just Gentek involved. The US the US Army and stuff like that are involved as well, and there's all kinds of people involved, and he basically goes after all of them to try and get to the bottom of what really happened. Goes to them to get to the bottom of what really happened. But then he finds out the final boss in the game, who you fight, who becomes the Supreme Evolved. I'll put a picture of the Supreme Evolved at this point. At the end you fight him, but you learn that he's actually a commander for the US forces, who plans to launch a nuclear attack against New York, where the game's set. But because the commander's become that consumed with power, no one, Alex is after him. That's basically the reason he wants to do it. Alex also has a sister called Dana, who helps him throughout the game. And obviously she's finding out all the information for Alex, what the army's doing, what Blackwatch is doing. I should have explained by this point. Blackwatch is basically like like Spec Ops. It's the specially trained soldiers who turn out to be more sinister than people think they are. As in, they're not above killing uninfected innocent people to achieve what they want. So in summary, the US Army is pretty corrupt in this game. Blackwatch military forces are very corrupt in this game. And it's all, and of course they're all after one man. But again, the game ends where, if you play the game before, you'll know. But the game, obviously, Alex runs through all fights all and then that nuke, he manages to stop it from hitting New York, and he manages to get inside a helicopter, transport it well out into the ocean, releases it, and the nuke goes off in the ocean. So of course about 40 odd miles of oceans now dead, but at least it never hit New York. And that's basically it. But he doesn't really have any memory of who he once was, but all he knows is that obviously, like I've just said, he knows that the military and this Black Watch and Gentek and all them were definitely involved in what happened to him. Once you get to the bottom of that, and now you guys know the rest. And that's it for the first game. There you guys know. Keep the thing rolling with Prototype 2 now. Anybody who's a fan of these games will have their own favourite, right? Like there's only 2 games, but you will get people who say, oh, the first one's better than the second one's better than the first one. I don't really have a favourite between the 2. I love both games just as much equally. And this game basically starts where the first one left off. Only difference now, a few years have passed since obviously Alex's story in the first game, and this time you start off as well. First of all, this guy right here, guy's called James Heller, former sergeant in the U.S. Army, who gets deployed to New York at the peak of the MERS virus, as it became known. And once him and his buddies were getting to where they're supposed to be, they get out on the ground and they're ambushed by a huge Supreme Evolved. Again, you'll see in the picture that I posted earlier in the video. When I posted, put up on screen earlier in the video of what the Supreme Evolved are. It should be mentioned at this point as well that there's not just the Supreme Evolved in the game. There's the hunt. There's the Evolved. There's the Infected, Hunter Evolved. The Evolved, Hunter Involved. And then the Supreme Evolved, and then obviously there's obviously Alex Mercer and James Heller. And what happens is you get Heller has to run into an old abandoned building in what's technically the dead zone. Of New York, and the Supreme Evolved's fist comes through the door, and what happens is he manages to get away from that, but then Alex Mercer appears, gets hold of Heller, gives Heller the virus, and then Heller goes the rest of the game trying to stop all the corruption within the US Army and Black Watch forces based in New York. um, and stuff like that. That his main mission in the game is to is really to stop the virus, because although Blackwatch in this game do kind of make a cure for the virus, of course, there's more sinister and corrupt intentions, and whilst Hella's running around dealing with all that business, with all that shit, Mercer's watching him every step of the way. Because what's happened to Mercer in this one is Mercer's just turned pure evil. He wants the whole city infected. He basically wants to not only infect the city, but infect the whole world, create a new world in his image, a world of infected, evolved, and anyone who isn't infected would it'd basically be doomsday for anyone that still wasn't infected. And Hela eventually ends up stopping him in what I think is a really, really great final boss fight. Now, I'm just talking about the boss fight here. I will say the boss fight at the end of Prototype 2 was a lot better than the boss fight at the end of Prototype 1. But again, that doesn't affect how I feel about both games individually. Like I said earlier on, I love both games the same. But Prototype 2's boss fight is so much fucking better than the boss fight at the end of Prototype 1. So fucking good. And in the end, Hela takes down Mercer. He kills Mercer. He kills and consumes Mercer, I think, at the end, if I'm remembering it right. And then that's it, he stopped it. But whilst the virus still remains in this city, in this game, the city's been split into, well, really 3 zones, along with the dead zone. There's the red zone, which is where everyone's infected, everyone's affected and infected. Well, it's nothing but obviously the infected, the evolved, the hunt evolved, and everything like that. There's the yellow zone, where there's a high rate of infections, but it's sort of balanced out with those who haven't yet been infected. And then there's the green zone, which is the safe zone, no infected, no nothing. And if there is any infected, they're all well caged and contained, blah blah blah. All that shit. So yeah. So that's basically Prototype 2. Dana Mercer comes back in this one because she asks Hela to help find Alex, but when she discovers what Alex is like now, which is later on in the game, towards the end of the game, which is basically, now that she knows what Alex is truly like. She's now she knows like Alex's true colours and everything. She's like she says to Jim, she just says to Hella, look, do what you want. I have no other, do what you want. And that is, and obviously that's what leads up to, let's say, the final boss, the final fight between Hella and Mercer. Well, obviously Hella wins, kills and consumes Alex, and then yeah, that's it. And then he gets reunited with his daughter, and Hella gets reunited with his daughter afterwards. In the final cutscene, you see his daughter come back to him. Dana's there as well, and that's about it. So yep, that's Prototype 2. There you go. So there you have it. 2 games that are absolutely fucking amazing. Unbelievable games. Cannot fault them in anywhere. They are just great games. I just do love everything about these games. Obviously, the ability to acquire weapons from your limbs, the ability to run up walls, climb up walls, jump as high as buildings, be able to lift and throw pretty much anything really. It's like I said, the story, the great. The characters are all great, and yeah, there's just nothing. I've got nothing bad to say about these games. These just 2 fucking amazing games. Hell of a good time if you haven't played them yet. I would recommend you go ahead and play them, because you got 2 awesome games that make up a brilliant story. And yeah, they're really fucking good. So Prototype, released in 2009. Prototype 2, released in 2012. And again, fucking just so damn good. These used to be my favourite games as a kid. Well, 2 of my favourite games as a kid. Obviously I had others as well, but these were in there with them. And I just thought these games were brilliant then, but I'm still playing them all these years later. I remember playing this game when it first came out in 2009. I was about 8 at the time. I was about 8, going on 9 in 2009. And I remember I played this game when it first came out as well, and I've played them both ever since, and I fucking love these games. Like I say, if you're looking for 2 great games with a hell of a lot of violence, blood and gore, along with a great story, I recommend these 2. Like I said, I was playing them at 8 and 11 years old. I was 8 going on 9 in 2009. I was 11 going on 12 in 2012. And so I've been playing these games for 13 and 17 years respectively. I'm 25 now, and I can still say, hand on heart, these are two of the greatest fucking games I have ever fucking played. And I'm sure like a lot of you guys have as well, I've been gaming ever since I was able to hold a controller. Ever since I was old enough to be able to hold a controller, I've been gaming. So I've played some shit. I've played some absolute dog shit that you wouldn't believe. Played shite that you wouldn't believe. Like someone got on a shelf on one side of the room, which I will get to at some point. But for now, let us leave you guys with this. Great fucking game. Another great fucking game. Been playing these games for the better part of my life, and I don't regret it. Two of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. Amazing games. Again, if you're looking for two great games, two fucking epic games, should I say, with a hell of a lot of violence, blood, and gore, with great storylines and characters to back them up. Awesome games. Highly recommended. And that takes care of the prototype games. Alright, you guys, so that's it for this episode. That was my review of both prototype games. Again, a 2-for-1 special. Again, two of the best games I've ever played personally. Again, if you're looking for two amazing games with a lot of blood, violence and gore, with great storylines and characters to back them up, I definitely recommend the two prototype games. Again, I was playing them, I was 8 going on 9 in 2009, 11 going on 12 in 2012, and I was playing them then, and still playing them now, and just two of the greatest games I've ever played, two of my all-time favourites. So once again, if you're looking for two awesome, if any of you are looking for two awesome games with a lot of blood, violence and gore, along with great storylines and characters, and you've never played Prototype before, I highly recommend that you guys do that, because they are amazing games. And that's the Prototype games. Again, awesome games, two of my all-time favourites. Highly recommend to you guys. So that's about it for this episode of Life in Airport Devotion. So as always, take care, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe if you feel so inclined to do that. All that is very, very much appreciated. Still happy to be nice to each other, take care of yourselves, keep on gaming. keep on gaming. And always, I'll see. Once again, be nice to each other. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice one, and I'll see you all. Next one. Keep on giving. Remember, life is a lot sweeter when you live it in 8-bit devotion. I've been Connor, the Mountain Mortist. See you all next time.